This similar looking and even boring looking iPhone is right now Apple's most important phone. So how can Apple make a phone out of items in the parts bin and still get people excited? Obviously, price is a major focus here, with Apple perfecting the design process and requiring almost no research and development for this phone. Here in Canada, I paid $599, which is just over the third of the cost of my iPhone 11 Pro Max, which has the exact same chip inside. So Apple made a cheap phone, but it's still premium in the areas that matter. And it's also still cheap in the areas that matter, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the new 2020 iPhone SE. Home sweet home button. I actually kind of forgot how nice the home button's haptic feedback actually was. It's a nice trip down memory lane to a simpler time. The home button iPhones have something that new iPhones don't even have, which is control center access from the bottom. Much more convenient. Touch ID is crazy fast. I remember how much I used to love this technology on my iPhone 8 Plus, but the entire time I'm using this phone, the screen just feels cramped. And that's because I'm coming from an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and I am definitely not the target market for this phone. And Apple doesn't care. This phone isn't for people who have the iPhone 11, the 11 Pro, the 10s, or even the 10. It's for those of you who just want a new phone that you know how to work. It's very familiar, but it's updated with faster hardware to take advantage of better software in the future. And that's something that your old iPhone, like the iPhone 6 or the 6s, just can't handle. The slow processor inside those older phones don't allow them to run modern versions of iOS for much longer. And that's why the iPhone SE is here in 2020. It'll be the one legacy iPhone in 2023 that'll still be getting software updates. The camera is a Frankenstein mix of iPhone 8 hardware with the image signal processor from the A13 Bionic chip. Many people think it's an instant write-off because it's the same optics as the iPhone 8. However, we don't realize how much software actually plays a role in making a photo look good. For example, the iPhone SE has the new second generation Smart HDR, which really makes the highlights, for example, in the sky and the clouds, really pop and look more detailed. We also get the redesigned camera app, which is pretty cool for a $400 phone. My iPhone 11 Pro has this redesigned camera app, and I can compare it to like my phone from last year, the iPhone XS, and that phone doesn't even get this redesign. And it's pretty cool because the redesigned camera app brings some features along with it, such as being able to change the video recording resolution inside the app. So it's kind of cool that this new $400 phone gets this feature, and my phone from last year, which is actually more expensive still than the iPhone SE, doesn't even get that. So that's pretty cool. In my opinion, this is the best video camera in the world for the price. Everybody knows that iPhone videos are fantastic, and 4K 60 video out of this camera looks unbelievable. And the phone is also IP67 water resistant, so it can also act as a semi-durable action camera in a pinch if you need it to. So a few other things I like about the iPhone SE for $400 include the very loud stereo speakers, which are fantastic for when watching video. The portrait mode for the back-facing and the front-facing camera, which is pretty cool. So I guess Apple did have to do some research and development for the new portrait mode on the front-facing camera, since this is the first ever iPhone to be able to do front-facing portrait mode completely with software. Because as you may have known, before this, all iPhones that had front-facing portrait mode required the True Depth camera system and Face ID. So this phone, as you know, does not have that, and we can still do front-facing portrait mode. So that is a very cool feature that we have here. And also the addition of wireless charging is nice to see on such a cheap phone. Pretty much everything the iPhone 8 has, the new iPhone SE has, except for 3D Touch. So now the entire iPhone lineup is without 3D Touch, as the iPhone 8 was the last iPhone to have that technology. Okay, so I'll get straight to the point. If you have an iPhone 6 through iPhone 8, you'll love the upgrade to the iPhone SE. Like I said before, it's not for people who have the redesigned phones with notches and Face ID. It's for the people who have that cracked old iPhone 6 with 16 gigabytes of storage and it's almost bent, and they just want to upgrade to something newer, faster, and most importantly, for cheaper. And this phone is going to appeal to a lot of people, especially at that $399 price tag. So if you still have an iPhone with a home button and you made it this far in the video, comment down below, hashtag team home button. I want to see how many of you still have the legacy iPhone, and also tell me if you're going to be upgrading to the new iPhone SE. Alright guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael, and I'll see you in the next video.